G'day. So I got it done. We finally finished the update 4 world, 100 turbo motors per minute. And in this video, I'm going to briefly go around the world and show how much work has gone into getting that 100 turbo motors per minute finished, and just show a few things. So let's get into it. So this is a vanilla build from update 4. I stopped playing towards the end there because I knew train signals were coming in, and then just recently gone back. I've learned how to do the train signals and sorted it all out. So for this video, even though this world is vanilla, no mods, I've umped and out about it, and I think the best way to showcase this in the smallest amount of time is to actually use flying and just zip around the world and have a brief look at things. And I will put the world up for download as well for anyone else that wants to jump in. So I've put this sign here in the main hub area. I'd like to say that this is completely update 4, but it's about 95% update 4, and as you can see with the signaling and a few signs, it's about 5% update 5. So the 100 turbo motors per minute, we did project assembly, we have 70 nuclear plants, no waste, 400 fuel generators, 2,400 storage units, and we got all the trophies because we got so many tickets. Rightio, alright, let's just pop on some flying. I'm using the hobby pack at the moment. And as you can see, we got the golden coffee cup and everything. So I'll just do this. And we'll go around. I'll start off at the 100 turbo motors. So they're up on the top floor here. And they're coming down here. I've got a stash of them just here. And the rest are just getting shredded. So what are we getting? Like, what is that? 30 million points per minute at the moment? You know, decent amount. Rightio. So up here, let's go up. We've got 36 manufacturers. Oh, by the way, the Fixmas event is on, so you'll see a lot of these presents getting around. But anyway, they're just floating around. Okay. 36 manufacturers making the turbo motors. 3 sets of 12. That's on the top of the base up here. And yeah, that's it. We're using the alternate recipe, which is the turbo electric motor. Takes motors, radio control units, electromagnetic control rods, and rotors. So this is pretty epic. Like the build, this is over 700 hours save of 2 players playing. Not just the turbo motors, but the power and the project assembly took quite a long time. Right, so that's the finished product. That's these 3 over here. These 3 sets of 36, 3 sets of 12 making 36 manufacturers. Now, I have a setup here making the electromagnetic control rods, and we've got a whole bunch of stators and high-speed connectors coming in. So we'll move on down. This setup here was probably the second last thing I did, is probably one of the most complex and demanding setups, or thirsty for produce, is the radio control units themselves. And they took crystal oscillators, circuit boards, aluminium casings, and rubber. So what we have here is roughly, from top of my head, I have a spreadsheet I can go to, but we have 6,000 of these aluminium casings coming in, and about 3,000 of rubber coming in by train in this station down here. So this build is pretty epic, but I wanted it to be really nice and neat, but I didn't really want to get carried too away with the aesthetics. I just wanted to focus on production. Alright, so we needed 304 radio control units per minute, and that's in there. Alright, all of this stuff you see over here, all of this crap, this is done by Fry, and that's for project assembly, and I actually have no idea what's going on here. Fry's done all the drones, and they're zipping around the world doing things for project assembly. I pretty much just focused on the 100 turbo motors per minute. I've kind of given, I'll have a look at the moment, given the base a little bit of a final facelift. And it does look pretty damn cool. Alright, it took me quite a long time to get the train sorted out, and they would run for quite some time. and then sometimes they would get gridlocked and I had to go and sort them out, add more signals, take some signals away actually to get it to work sometimes. But yeah, there comes a present at the moment. Alright, so the zooping helped me a lot to get these windows finished, and the hollow pack and the zooping, it actually didn't take that long to do these windows and things. Rightio. Let's just have a quick on look at Fry's setup in here. He has the final products for the project assembly, which we've already handed in. And we've still got it coming in very slowly. Nuclear power star, director assembly systems, magnetic field generators, and the thermal propulsion rockets. And I believe these have still got a few in here as well, yep. Alright. Cool, so we've got hypertubes that can shoot us all over the world with jetpacks. So anyone that comes in here, if anyone grabs a save, you won't have to use mods. You can just come out here, grab yourself a hover pack and jetpack and whatever else you need, and you can actually get around the whole world on trains and hypertubes. It actually works quite well. Alright, so let's move on down. Oh, let's have a quick look over here. We have all the trophies, and we finally got this bad boy here. It's pretty funny, you spend 1,000 tickets and you get this tiny little trophy. We're not using mods, so we're not using the larger trophies mod, but we've got a pretty nice setup here. You'll notice that we're not using signs here because honestly, this is an update 4 save, and I didn't want to spend ages just doing stuff. Just these couple of signs here, just to spice it up at the start. Alright, other than what you see in this base here, a bit of the asphalt and the glass stuff, I haven't really update 5'd this base. That's why I said it's only about 5% update 5, if that. Alright, we have a shitload of quick wire. Let's up the speed, and we'll get around the world really fast now and just have a brief look at all the different factories. Rightio, so a shitload of high-speed connectors getting made in the base, and that's there. I believe Fry did this one. We have a shitload of circuit boards getting made here, and all of this stuff's coming in on the train. Right, so that's a lot of stuff. That's pretty much the stuff in the base. The quick wire, high-speed connectors, and the circuit boards and silica, along with the radio control units under here, and the electromagnetic control rods here, and obviously the final product, the 100 turbo motors per minute. Other than that, all the other factories are all around the world. So let's go zip around and have a look at them. The other thing is the game's actually running since update 5. It's running really smooth. Yeah, I know I'm losing a lot of frames here and there, but it's nowhere near as bad as what it was. So yeah, that's why I'm going to use the flying. Rightio. One last thing before we zip around. Those of you that have played recently will know that this is a thing that's been happening. It's bugged. I have to manually go around and flip them all around, and there's so many of them in the world that I just went, you know what, stuff it. I'm done. I'm leaving them. Alright, if anyone wants to download this save and do it themselves, that's fine. Rightio, so, weapons factory. Seen that in another video. The basics factory, this is our personal supply for things, and that goes up into our auto sorter, and I've made a video about the auto sorter already. This train station I built on the southern side. It took a while to get these signals to get it to stop jamming up, but it's been running for a few hours now and the trains seem to be doing just fine. Rightio, the northern train station, Fry did this one and it's pretty cool. This gets the rubber and the aluminium. Rightio, let's move on. We have here what is this? Caterium, alright, and this is a Caterium factory. And Fry made this factory. Moving on, zipping around, we have a crystal oscillator factory. I built this one, and that makes crystal oscillators, a shitload of crystal oscillators. Inside here, there's actually even more crystal manufacturers. Rightio, our 400 fuel generator, turbo fuel generator setup. I've got a video on this if anyone wants to see that one. It's actually a two-part video because this is the setup for this. All of the stuff you see here, even this, is the setup for this guy over here. 400 fuel generators. There's a little computer factory here, and that gives computers to the base. What is that? Alright. Moving on, just a little bit of batteries and other random stuff. This is actually where our jetpack fuel comes in. And there's a nice big train spiral, and there's a shitload of trains that go up to the aluminium setup. In fact, we'll go look at the aluminium setup now. Alright, so you can see the trains going up and down here. Losing some frames, but it's not too bad. Alright, this was pretty epic, this build. This is the aluminium casing setup. What you can see here, all this over here, all these train stations, and all this over here is making 6,000 aluminium casings per minute. They're loading onto the train here and going onto the train station that Fry built down there. And actually the base looks pretty cool from over here. Alright, that's the aluminium setup. We used all the bauxite in the world. Since I'm using flying, I'll just show you this bus. This bus took ages to make, especially with no mods. This neatly goes and gets all the bauxite in the world, plus some copper and quartz, and yeah, basically. It is a big old belt bus. But there's no clipping and it's all nice and neat. We actually grab a bit of nuclear for the nuclear setup on this as well. Alright, let's get up and keep going around clockwise around the world. I'll actually go down here for a second. This intersection I was really worried about because this is probably one of the busiest intersections in the whole map. There's a lot of big long trains that come through here, but as you can see, it works. I've got two sets of trains, 2 sets of 9 freight car trains picking up water from down here, taking water all the way up there to that aluminium setup that we're just at. Alright, moving on. Yeah, trains going everywhere, it's bloody awesome. This is the motor factory. Now this was all open, I've got a video on this as well if you want to see how all this is put together. But this makes 305 motors per minute, pretty insane factory. This was the starter base when we started this build. There's a hypertube cannon coming out there. I used to use that a lot back in the early days, and that shoots us over. The reason I walled this up and made a nice big blank wall is because I was losing so many frames looking at this, but now the optimization of the game and a new computer, it's not too bad. In fact, I may come back and do something with this wall because it's quite boring. It's just a big brick, but anyway, computer seems to be handling the frames a lot better. Moving on, this here is a train station that picks up limestone and quartz and a little bit of copper, and these 2 trains go all the way back up that big spiral over there, all the way up to the aluminium setup. Right, so essentially just a logistics train hub here, and away we go. Rightio, the nuclear setup in the Northern Ocean here, this is massive. Like this nuclear setup in the Northern Ocean is massive. I'm not going to go through it because I have a whole video on that, and you can find that on my channel if you're interested. But this is an epic nuclear build, 70 nuclear plants with no nuclear waste. And it produces 14.4, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but here we are. It produces 14.4 of these per minute, and I'm just sinking them. And if we wanted to turn that into more nuclear power, we get like another 140 nuclear power plants. But anyway, moving on. Here is a copper sheet setup. This is copper sheets that go back to the base on this train station, and it makes the circuit boards. So I've forgotten the exact numbers, but fucking so many. so many core sheets, all right, and a bit of belt work, grabbing all the copper for that. Right, this is the nuclear hub and the 2,400 batteries, and this wasn't put down in one session, and there's multiple people that came in and out of the game to help put all these down. We have a lot of power stored here. What do we got? What does it work out to be? Yeah, 240,000 megawatt hours. Nice. Alrighty. And all that you see over here is for the nuclear setup. All of this. That there is a coal power plant, and that down there is also a coal power plant. And that down there is just a sulfur pickup for nuclear, I believe. Alright, so everything here in the Northern Ocean is nuclear. I wanted to just get this playthrough finished because I know that they're going to update this whole Northern Ocean. They're going to update the environment. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I wanted to get this playthrough done, post the save for you guys, and be done with it before they edit the map. Because potentially this entire factory will be covered by something. Who knows? Rightio, so this rubber here is for nuclear, but this rubber here, this is making the 3,000 rubber per minute. This is going on the train. There's 2 looping trains all the way back to the base, and that's 3,000-ish rubber per minute. This factory was done by Fry. He did this one, and it's using the old switcheroo with the switching the plastic into rubber and rubber into plastic back and forth with the fuel until you get the most value out of it. Righto, moving on. This train station was pretty cool, just hanging over the edge here, built into the environment. It's picking up nitrogen for nuclear, but there it is. Right, a bunch of trains hooking on by. This is a quartz pickup for nuclear. Fry built that one. And this is a steel ingot making thingy for nuclear. Yes. Cool, another train. Rightio, bunch of stuff happening in the desert here. This setup here is like half of this is for nuclear and half of it is making like rotors and stators and a couple other things for the 100 turbo motors. Right, so here is a train station, and this takes rotors and stators for the 100 turbo motors per minute. And as you can see, there's a lot going on here. A lot of things happening. But rotors and stators is what is getting made here. Rightio. This building over here is a thingy that Fry did, and I believe it's for project assembly, and it is copper. It's the powdered copper powder for the nuclear pasta. All right, let's move on. You'll just see a lot of they updated the environment in quite a few spots, and it's covering up a few things, but I'm not changing it. I'm done with it. Alright, so we have a pretty big train intersection here. I had to expand it because it was getting, the trains weren't crashing, but they were just like getting into deadlock. So, a lot of playing around with train signals, and it seems to be working quite well now. Alright, so this is a crystal oscillator factory, another crystal oscillator factory. Fry built this one. It's a big old factory making crystal oscillators, and it's pretty cool. Right, part of this crystal oscillator factory is this little water pickup here. This picks up water and takes it to the crystal oscillator factory to make crystal oscillators. Alright, yep. Okay, sulfur for nuclear, bauxite for nuclear, and uranium for nuclear. That's about all we're doing with the swamp here, is just grabbing some stuff. Rightio. We haven't even used, in this playthrough, we haven't even used the blue crater. So this is the blue crater. As you know, there's a few pure nodes in here, and there's a bunch of oil down there, and there's some coal there. So we haven't actually used the blue crater in this stage. We have used, however, all the sulfur and bauxite in the map. Because whatever we didn't use on turbo motors, we're using to make batteries for drones. And here we are, back at the base. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but that's basically it, guys. That's this map done. The target goals complete, and I will post the save for you guys to have a look at yourself. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know. But this map was basically to focus on hardcore like production goal, just a nice hardcore 100 turbo motors per minute production goal. And obviously we did the other couple of things on the side there, but it's finished now and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to leave the video there, and that's it. Catch us later.